Well, there's a thin dividing line, I think, between heroism and insanity, and I think you'll have to make up your own mind on this one. But this certainly is excitement. 10 laps of excitement as they come down now to take up the positions on the grid. You're looking at the man on the outside of the front row, or the pair on the outside of the front row. That's Gerard Killock and Mark Graham in the combination number 10 there. And we're also waiting, indeed, for number 7. Has he got lost on the warm-up lap? Stephen Gallagher and David Gallagher, and that would be a great shame indeed, because they are very firm favourites for this one, but they're not taking up the position on the grid. It looks like we're going to have a gap on the grid, and furiously working on combination number 3. That's Paddy Kelly and Eamon Newton from Lucan on the Kawasaki 1100 there. That's not looking very hopeful of a start as we line up. 7 is now coming through. We can just see it coming through our picture now. Stephen Callahan and David Gallagher. These are a very experienced pair from Blanchardstown, a tremendous family in sidecar racing, and indeed we're once again indebted to their mother for all the work they did in preparing the notes for this race for us. So there they are in the Baker Suzuki 1128cc machine. We're getting ready to go, and it's a tremendous variety, tremendous bravery, and I certainly wouldn't like to be a passenger in one of these ones, Brian Jude.
Well, the pole position team is father and son, would you believe, waving their hands furiously there. Number 10, which is on the front row, that's the button for the lights to change that you see there. Machine has cut out, so a push there from the passenger. The hard one now, he's got to roll him back into position. Stream, they're like spaceships, these rockets, and just getting him started. Someone else coming up. Great camaraderie amongst these lads, just coming up to give him a push, jumping off the other end. But the men that we're going to watch is that pole position team who lapped here in 64.25 seconds. And watch this in the outside of the front row, getting grip, and he's leading on past her. And from the second row, a superb start there, really all the way through. Seamus Killock and Gerald Marley, and they just flew through, but just got the wheels spinning. The passenger sitting right over that back wheel to get plenty of grip. So from the second row, or outside of the front row, number 10, that's Gerald Killock and Mark Graham. They're in second place. There's our pole position man trying to make it down. Actually, the wheel on the grass there as they come down. The passenger back over the wheel. He rides right around the outside of the first and second place man. Superb maneuver, touching their wheels, keep pushing him out onto the grass. He's on the grass, he's back off the grass. So we've a change of lead again. So it's again number 10, Gerald Killock, who's made it through into the lead there. This is really lunacy at its best.
Absolutely amazing. You're looking at number 7, Stephen Gallagher. I would have been a bit worried there about Seamus Killock's start. It looked a bit too good to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if there'd be a penalty for that one, but it's irrelevant at the moment because Gerald Killock and Mark Graham are out there in front from the front row of the grid, and down they go, tucking down to get out of the wind on the long Mondello straight here, and a nice little lead they have, and there's a tremendous dice going on there for third place at the moment as they all come streaming down the main straight to complete the first lap. And what a lap that was.
Yes, and believe it or not, from the 1, 2, 3, 4th row, from 7th place, we have Duff and Pat Bradley, that's number 12 there. They have moved up from 7th place up into second, and our pole position Galligan, the two Galligans in 3rd place, they're just nipped through there. So that was the man who really scorched off the second row of the grid to get into the lead on the first lap. He's really motoring on at the moment. The passenger, all important here, has to transfer the weight. He's now hanging out of the chair as they come into this left-hander at the S's. That'll keep that third wheel on the ground. Now a change of direction. He's got to get back over behind the rider. You see that as they move into second on the inside line. You can still see the damp patches, but touching almost again. Passenger, all important there, keeping the weight on that back wheel and up through. And this is the man, absolutely the quickest man on the circuit. They did stop on the warm-up lap to look at something at the back of the chair, so maybe they have a problem at the moment. Through that traffic into second place. This battle here behind them. Don't forget 7th place man Duff and Bradley now being chased by number 2 Seamus Killock and Gerard Manley. But the quick men, the two Galligans, father and son, really charging off after the leaders, Jared Killock and Mark Graham, but the battle now is really for third place. Killock, Marley, these two really working well together. A few patches on the overalls there, Alan, maybe touched once or twice on the tarmac, what?
I would say they call it road burns in this business, and they're certainly burning up the road at the moment. So it's a Killock out in front, number 10, Jared Killock, and we're looking at this battle for third place for Seamus Killock. And these from Stonyford, it's a Yamaha 1100cc, and he's really putting the pressure on number 12, Ian Duff and Pat Bradley from Lucan, again in 1100cc, the Yamaha. And they're now in turn both putting the pressure on Stephen Gallagher and David Callahan, and there's Suzuki 1128cc. And look at this, I don't know what he's pointing at, and he's sending some signal to the fellow behind him. He's letting him go through. So there must be some problem with that outfit there. So 12, Ian Duff from Lucan now moves up a place.
A little bit of smoke there, like a haze of smoke coming out of number 7, the Galligan's chair, the main part of the machine. You can see that they're just being swamped at the moment. But the battle in the middle there, obviously they have possibly a brake problem, because it was just coming into the braking area that he just nipped by there, Duff and Bradley, just hanging on there. This is serious stuff. Look, and again he loses another place, a problem, dropping back all the time. But look at these lads, once they see a break, the width of these chairs, you can see them, they're about 4.5 to 5 feet wide. Looking over his shoulder, he's got to get back over that back wheel now to get the grip as they go into the second part of the S's.
Well, now you'll notice that he's looking down. They're both of them looking down at the wheel, their hands up. They've decided it's too dangerous, they're going to come in. But look, we're back with the battle now for second place between number 12 and number 2. Number 12, Ian Duff, and number 2, Seamus Killock. And there's another danger man, Andy Kennedy from Newton Ards in his Suzuki 1100. Killock really dropped back, locking up brakes as they come down into Coca-Cola Bend. Oh, great stuff, look at that. Close, working in harmony, and you really have to trust your driver and passenger in this one, because it's all about balance.
Yes, Kennedy there, number 4, just getting a slingshot in, but a long way around the outside. He's just been bumped down there by number 59, just as they came into that double apex. You leave a gap here at all, and suddenly there's a machine on that piece of tarmac. But they're really pulling out up the hill, coming down to the S's. This is where the passenger has it all to do. Hang out as far as he can, really stretching himself. And they've been taken down there. That's number 50. That's Dave Gorman and Martin Provitt have just bumped number 4, Andy Kennedy and Ian Marmstock down a place. But number 2 there, really at the work. Seamus Killock, he is now securely in second place at the moment. Let's not forget our leaders out there in the front. But this is the battle, and these 3 could close up at any time, Alan.
So that new combination there that has just come into the picture, the rainbow one, that's Dave Gordon and Martin Provitt. They're from North Hants, and they're Baker Suzuki 1216. And they're beginning to really pile on the pressure. Here's the leader, however, and he's well out in front at the moment, or they're well out in front, I should say. And number 10, Jared Killock and Mark Graham from Stonyford in Northern Ireland in the Yamaha.
Second place man on the road is Lane Duff and Pat Bradley. The gap is fairly wide at the moment. These two got a clear run, got the heads down when the quick man had to pull out, possibly with a puncture. They kept looking at that back wheel, and there is the second place man, which is number 12, and he is a long way back. But the dice for third place is what is really going on. That could change at any time. Looking over the shoulder there to see what the gap is like. This is our leader at the moment, a very, very comfortable lead.
10 seconds, almost 10 seconds, 9.4 to be precise, as they come down, and once again under braking, and you can see that the passenger sort of tries to lean forward to get the weight forward on the combination, then leans over, compensating the gravity all the time in these machines. So it's 9.6 seconds. Here's the battle for third, and you're looking at Andy Kennedy there and Ian Armstrong, his passenger from Newton Ards,
and our second place men are going to come under pressure now from Killock. Duff and Bradley, number 12, but this is the danger man at the moment, Seamus Killock. They've made their way back up, and they're looking after that second place. They are in third place at the moment, looking at that second place. Remember, our leader got a nice comfortable cushion, about 9.5 seconds. Second place man under pressure now, just out of camera shot at the moment. The third place man is just beginning to make roads, and with a wheel on the grass there, Alan, again.
So Ian Duff and Pat Bradley from Lucan, their Yamaha, And you can see there Killock. That's been a pretty exciting adventure from Seamus Killock. I wonder, is there a penalty though for a jump start, which would rather spoil their run? We haven't seen any board out to indicate that, but he's certainly got a very enthusiastic start. Let's be kind and call it that. So there they are, number 2 in 3rd, number 50 in 4th, and number 4 in 5th place.
Second place man, still that gap between himself and Killock. That's our 3rd place combination. Looking over the shoulder into the very tight left-hander there at Castro. Looking across, you can see the main straight again. He'll be able to see what the opposition are doing, but number 50 beginning to make inroads, and Dave Gordon and Marvin Crawford from Northants, and they would be learning this circuit, visitors from across the water. Again, sitting right over that back wheel to get the maximum grip as they go up the hill, back into the chair, getting ready for the S's again. Passenger just about to hang it all out there. That's Jared Marley. Just a wheel again on the curve, but that's a race leader making their way around the top hairpin as they come out onto the main straight. They're actually going to catch up with some back markers now, possibly some lapping about to happen. That's number 21 there. They're about to be lapped. They use the gap on the inside, plenty of room for our leader as he goes through, but at the moment that gap still about 10 seconds to the second place man, and with no real opposition he can dictate this from the front.
So Jared Killock leading, and his brother Seamus Killock in 3rd place, but there's a big gap in time between them. These two from the front row of the grid have really dominated this one this afternoon, and it really is it's a tremendous art. You have to admire the bravery of these people. There can't be very few things in life that are more thrilling than this sport, and look how close that certain part of his body is to the ground.
And we can tell you that it is beginning to rain, would you believe, again. A shower of rain just arriving here in Mondello Park, and these units are on slick tires. That's the tire, the treadless tire, which will work till it absolutely gets saturated, but it'll make everything just that much trickier, especially for the rider. Passenger looking now, he will want to feel this machine just slide underneath him if the rain gets any heavier. Still holding that 10-second advantage, and they're starting their last lap. 10-second lead at the moment. Just pussyfooting around here, just that little sprinkle rain making conditions slight. Yes, you can see the tail, the shine off that back wheel where the wets begin to come. Just hits the bump there, going a lot slower now, Alan, because of the conditions.
But they had a 12-second advantage when they crossed, went on to their last lap there, so they can really afford to back off a little bit. Number 2 up into 2nd place, new 2nd place man. That's the brother, Seamus, who's moved in there. We didn't actually see what happened there, but so we've got Killock's 1st and 2nd, and somebody has spun up on top of Dunlop there. They're coming, Ian Duff it was, who is coming down slowly. But here's the leader, 2 corners to go, a bit slippery. The rain seems to have eased off. It's a tricky day because it's just a little sprinkle, a shower. That's a back marker, don't worry about him. Here comes the leader, coming up the hill to Dunlop corner for the last time. And look at those gloves, they're so dangerously near the tarmac. Over they lean, down they come. It's an excellent victory. Jared Killock and Mark Graham take it in their Yamaha, and in 2nd place it should be his brother.
Seamus Killock and Jared Manley, and that's them, the 2nd placement. You can see using all the road this time because of that, just that little bit slippy. 2nd place man there, and there we're waiting for the 3rd place man, which should be number 12, should be Duff and Bradley. But no doubt about the race winner when the 2 Galligans had to drop out with what we think was a puncture. Jared Killock and Mark Graham had it all their own way.
So there's the race winner, incidentally, and